Welcome back, day 5. This is your strategy mastery course on your forehand. So we're going to talk about a lot of different scenarios. This video might go for a little while because I have a lot of thoughts on this. Where we're going to start with, though, is just a basic rally strategy. If you've never heard this before, it's a game changer. Some people know this already, some people don't. So this is for singles. What you want to make sure is when you get into a cross-court rally, okay, that you no longer have to recover all the way back to the middle. It's going to be exhausting. And you also want to be the one who stays in the pattern the longest. You want to be the most disciplined player out there. So we want to be thinking about here a nice cross-court rally ball, our ultimate rally ball, and then all we got to do is just basically recover back to here. Okay, we're looking to do that until we see an opportunity. Okay, so as long as we're here or back, we mostly want to go cross court. We don't want to take the risk down the line. Once we start to be able to move inside the court, and especially if we can move a little bit more in this way, now we have more court to work with and we can take it up the line. And lots of times when you're going up the line, I just want you to think about it as a change of direction rather than a winner. Get your opponent moving, okay? So a great little combination you want to do, and then lots of people get in trouble because they stay in front of the ball and then they get beat cross court the next time. So think about once you change the direction up the line, you want to protect and keep the rally going on your forehand side to finish off the point, right? So you're rallying cross court. You're rallying cross court. You hit a great cross court ball. Then the ball is coming shorter in here. It's not quite an approach shot, but you're able to move in here. We're not going to go for a winner. We're just going to hit an aggressive shot down the line like that. Now, once we hit that ball, we don't want to stand here and go, oh, well, I hit it down the line, so now I'm just going to stay down the line. You either need to move to the net, but let's say you're not going to move to the net. Let's just say you're going to stay in your rally. You want to make sure you recover back behind to here. This is important now because if they run it down and they hit it cross court and you hit your down the line shot and do what I see a lot of people do is just stop back here because like I hit it down the line, I'm going to stay in front of the ball. Then you can't get to that ball and they hit a winner. You open up that side of the court. So you want to make sure that you switch over now and you get to here. So it's a little weird, right? When you hit cross court, you're thinking, well, I'm hitting cross court, I'm leaving that line open. Shouldn't I go over there at least to the middle or cross over? No, you actually just need to recover to here. Once you hit it down the line, it's the opposite. Now you got to recover to here. Okay? And what you're trying to do is, especially if you're hitting good shots, is now you're thinking, okay, if they hit it up the line, it's still got to curl back in the court and I can come over here and hit a cross court and get them running, or maybe that's my winner, right? If they hit the ball back in the center or a little off center, you can run around and keep it on your forehand side, and you can either go inside out or you can bring it inside in. Inside in is basically taking the ball and putting it there. So you're keeping it on the forehand side, and then they just have this little small window to your backhand, but you're already there. You can get to it. It's not going to be a winner on you. Okay, so that's how you want to play your basic rally game. And another thing too, if you're serving and staying back, make sure. So if I'm going to serve there, make sure you serve in shade. You're going to serve, and then you're just going to step a little bit this way to open up with your forehand. There's some stats about how in the pros, how many times they're able to hit a forehand over their backhand. The more forehands they're hitting than their backhand, they usually end up winning that match. So you want to protect that forehand. Same, now if I'm over here and I'm serving, right, I want to serve, boom, and again, I want to cover behind the baseline to here. I want to put that ball as much as I can on my forehand side. So remember that when you get into your rallies. That's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, we're going to come back with our return of serve on the forehand strategy. Big forehand, the return of serve is a great opportunity to take offense. But I think at the recreational level, we get just too excited and we try and end the point in one return, and we're usually going for a line, whether we're going cross court or down line. And I just watched a video with Patrick Mortoglu, who's coached pretty much everybody on the tour now, and he gave a return to serve master class. He was saying your best, most deadly return is actually right up the middle, okay? So rather than thinking about firing those forehands to the corners where you're giving away free points, think about getting great at being able to laser the ball right back to the middle, especially we're talking singles right now. And there's many benefits to that. One that we don't really think about, we're always thinking, oh, we gotta make them run to make them miss or to hit a winner. But when they're serving, think about this, when you're having somebody serve at you, they're coming and they're landing inside the court. And if you got a big forehand and can hit it fairly fast back, they're basically barely landing, recovering, and you're hitting at their feet, okay? So that's gonna give you lots of unforced errors, lots of short ball opportunities to come put the ball away. And the other thing they talked about, which is really good too, which is, you know, tennis is a lot like golf. If you're slightly off on your angle timing, you know, if you're too far out in front or a little behind, the ball is going to go wide on either side. So even though sometimes you're going to be aiming right down the middle, your angle timing can be a little off, and if you're a little off early, you might end up hitting a winner on this side if it's cross court. You see what I'm saying? So you might not even be trying, but hit a cross-court winner to this side over here, depending on your timing, or if you're a little late, you might hit a winner up the line without even trying, trying to return to the middle, but the ball's still in the court. If you're just thinking in your head, okay, when this serve comes, I'm gonna pull a winner right down the line, and you're a little off your timing, now all of a sudden we're missing wide, we're missing long, and we're hitting hitting over the highest part of the net, we're missing the net. So right here, by going through the middle, we're going over the lowest part of the net, the person's landing and we're hitting their shoe strings, and if we're a little off with our timing, we're still in the point. Do you want to be in the point or not? All right, let's go to our next strategy video. Okay, another single strategy is we have to talk about, because the pros are doing it so much, inside in and inside out forehands, and when to hit them, and also just kind of ask yourself, you know, just because you see the pros do it, do you have to do it? Think about, what is your foot speed? What is your recovery? The better foot speed, the better recovery you have, and the bigger forehand you have, the more of a weapon it is, then do this. If your forehand and backhand are pretty much even, or your foot speed isn't that great, then you can't do this as much as the pros. Like Rafa will run all the way actually outside the doubles line sometimes because he's so fast and his forehand's so great that's worth it for him to take that risk. So if you are playing and you're fast, you have a big forehand, you want to start thinking with your forehand to try and take away as many backhands as possible in singles. So rather than just thinking about even forehands this side of the mark, backhands this side of the mark, you're thinking, how many times can I move over here? And what's the advantage over doing this over just hitting a backhand? Because when you go to hit a backhand up the line, it's taking a lot more risk as opposed to if you were to move here and hit an inside in, because now it's kind of like you're hitting a cross-court ball. Does that make sense? It's like you're hitting a cross-court ball. I'll show you from the back so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And when you're here and you're hitting an inside out, again, you have more court to work across the court. Okay, so it's a great thing to where now you have more to work with and you can get the ball to squirt out on both sides. See, if I'm hitting down the line here, it's just gonna hit and go down the line. But if I'm hitting this ball, I can actually hit it and make it move across the singles line. If I hit an inside out forehand, I can make it move across the singles line. So that's why there's a big incentive. That's why the pros are running around their backhand. Not only is their forehand better, but it gives them more options to move the ball off the court. Does that make sense? Okay, so again, I just want to show you this. If I'm just choosing to take a backhand on this side and hitting it, the ball can pretty much only move forward up the line. It bounces, it goes forward right up the line. If I'm moving here, I'm taking it inside in, again, it's like I'm almost hitting a cross-court ball, and when I hit it, the ball can move. That wasn't so great. That's much better. See how the ball can keep moving out that way. And so now my opponent, when I run around, they have to respect they have to respect both wings. I can hit it inside in or inside out, because both of these options can be absolutely devastating for me. See, I can hit it there or I can hit it there, and that's two very far places for your opponent to run. So make sure that you ask yourself these questions. How fast am I? If you're fast, okay, maybe I should be running around my backhand and forehands. How much better is my forehand and my backhand? It's a lot better. Okay, do that. But I'm telling you, if your backhand and your forehand are pretty much even or you're slow, then don't do this strategy. Let's get into the doubles rally strategy now. When you're in a rally with a one up, one back situation, and you're on the cross court side here, just think about being rock solid, staying cross court, and resist the temptation to try and be fancy and hit in the alleys a lot, especially when you're back at the baseline. Remember what I said, when you are into the court, you can think a little bit more about using this windshield wiper. When you're back here in a rally, just think about solid cross court. Resist the temptation to go down the line. This alley is going to look good lots of times, okay? And if you can hit it, it feels amazing. I'm not saying never do it, but do it a lot less when your wing is on the outside on your forehand. Okay, you want to wait till it's on the inside, which I'll show you here in a second. But just take nice, strong cross-court rally balls where you're in this rally position. And then when you get moved off the court, it's going to be tempting to want to rip it up the line. You can do that, but I'd much rather you switch to a continental grip. If someone force you off the court, you're like, yes, this line is looking so good. I'm telling you, it's going to be a much better option if you just go to the continental grip and get out here and just throw up a lob if you're forced to be running off the court. That gives you time to get on in, and that gives you gives them another opportunity to miss a ball, miss an overhead, which not many people have good overheads, rather than you just trying to be a hero and you're on the run and you try and smash one down the line, which is going to look super tempting to do. Don't take the bait. This side in doubles, now you have more options, because now you have that inside out forehand that you can kind of treat as your cross court rally ball, right? Boom, you can hit that all day long, and you can shade over and leave a little bit of that middle open, because again, your partner's got that angle a lot of times when it goes to the middle. So you can be kind of cheat over here, and then also you can now take this forehand and you can now rip it at the net person inside in, okay? You can now rip it inside in at them. Sometimes just go straight at them, but you see you have a lot of court to work with. That ball started going to the net person, actually ended up in the alley. I wasn't even trying to do that. Be careful though, the more you move out this way, I don't want to leave the camera, but the more you move out this way, it's going to be tempting to take that inside in, but if you don't hit a winner, you're leaving all this open. So I like inside ins when you're actually more towards the center of the court. Now it's a lot easier to make that shot and then be recovered to defend it. So you want to take your inside in rips when you're here, because then you can defend it if you don't put it away on them. And that will make them miss lots of times, because you put pressure on the ball and then they don't see an opening. If you move out there and then you rip it inside in, you better be sure you're going to hit a winner, because if you don't, you're leaving the whole court open. But that's going to be tempting. That's kind of like when you get forced out there, you're going to be wanting to rip that inside in. But again, that's kind of like a mirage. Don't fall for that bait. The more you move out here, I want you to take it back inside out and stay into your rallies, okay? And if you feel like you're getting in a tough situation, just throw up a lob. Just throw up a lob, guys. Whenever in doubt in doubles, just throw up a lob and you're not going to get hurt. Okay, now let's talk about returning the serve. When you're returning the serve in doubles, think about returning the serve when you're hitting it inside here. The forehand's on the inside. Think about returning it basically just to the opposite side of the net strap, and then lots of times it's going to stay in, okay? Because if you don't, you might be susceptible to having the ball be poached on. So you just think just a little off center. Too many people aim too much to the alleys. Lots of times the ball is going to end up in the alley. So if I aim just a little bit off center, just a little bit to the deuce side, I'm on the deuce side now, and if I just aim a little bit off center there, and it's going to go right there in the corner. We want to think about our returns going nice and solid either deep, or if they're serving volleyers, a lot of times we want to put the ball low and short. Okay, so if you're playing a serve and volleyer too, I also like the idea of being good at moving inside the court and hitting a nice little chip low, or kind of a windshield wiper chip, rip and dip at their feet. Okay, so be thinking about that as you're returning serve when your forehand's on the inside here. Does that make sense? Let me show you when it's on the outside. On the outside returning serve, it's so easy to pull the ball and miss returns cross court wide. Okay? I can't tell you how many times I've think I'm hitting a good return and it goes wide on me, and it's so frustrating. So if you're hitting a cross court here on the outside, a lot of times, as long as you get it to go right over the net strap, if you get the ball, if you aim right over this net strap, it's going to end up right in the corner. It's going to stay in the singles and end up right in the corner. So you really want to aim here. Don't be aiming cross court, because then you're going to pull a lot of them wide. You'll be aiming right over that net strap, and by the time it's crossing that net strap, it's going to be moving too fast. You're going to think, oh, well, that's going to be easily poached, right? No, a lot of times it's going to be moving too fast across for the poacher to go to. So it's a much further run for them than you feel it is, right? You're thinking, oh, they just take one step and they're there at the net strap. No, but the ball is just going to be moving, going to keep moving right past them. Look, let me try that again. Going to go right over the net strap. Look at that. That's a great return right there. You see that? And that ball basically went right over the net strap. But look where it landed. Okay, so we're just going to make one more video on passing shots. Okay, so when we're hitting passing shots in doubles, usually someone's transitioning to the net. Usually somebody's always starting back but wanting to get up. So you want to look for that person who's coming up, and you either want to think about a chip dip or a rip dip and figure out what you're better at, okay? So a chip dip is probably gonna be a lot easier for a lot of us, especially when we get to move. Let's say they're coming in, but we get to go inside the court, then we wanna think about chip dip, okay? You see what I'm trying to do there. Just chip it low at their feet, then they gotta volley up, and then you've got all kinds of options. Then you can chip and then rip, or you can chip and lob, all that kind of stuff, okay? Then you set it up from there. Then a lot of times things open up and they're obvious for you, okay? Or you can do a rip dip, like, oh, that wasn't very good. Start that video all over again. Okay, so let's talk about passing shots in doubles. Is you want to think about a couple different setup shots. Too many people in doubles try and hit winners right away. They start to feel the threat and they swing for the fences and they give away something that shouldn't be given away. Usually one person's coming in on you, whether they're serving, volleying, chip and charging, you're in a rally with them, one up, one back, and they're coming in. So as you feel them coming in, if you have to back up off the line, just throw up a lob. Please just throw up a lob. Don't overcomplicate things. If they move you back, throw up a lob. Now, if you're able to stay on neutral or even get a little more forward, then I want you to think about a chip dip setup. Right there, right at their feet. Now they got to volley up. Your partner can maybe poach and move across and put the ball away. Or you can, if you do a good job, you might be able to move in and get a high volley next time. Or you can set up a nice passing shot. The world will open up for you. Or you can try a rip dip, where you're coming here and going like that and ripping it and dipping at their feet. Now that's really, really tough for the opponent. You can get that because now it's skipping right up at them. And again, it gives your partner a great chance at poaching and you a great chance at basically setting up a passing shot. But think about that. Think about the chip dip or the rip dip to set up as long as you're neutral or moving forward. Don't think about just hitting a winner. And if they move you back, if you're moving back as they're coming in, just lob. Make life easy. Applies for singles and doubles, but especially doubles. I'm just gonna make a doubles video on the approach. If you're a doubles player and you don't have a good chip approach shot, you are missing out. You are not spending time on something that is so valuable in your game. Because as much as it feels awesome to hit forehands like we're learning in this forehand challenge and rip the ball, that ball a lot of times is coming up and bouncing on your approach shot right in zone 3. That's what Jorge Capistania talks about. This is their favorite place to hit. You probably love it here. Your opponent loves it here. So that's what you're giving them. Unless you're hitting it at Mach 11 like Nick Kyrgios, then the ball's just kind of there for them. It's at a good pace. They like it. But if you can learn how to chip your approach shots deep like that. Okay, that went just long. Let me try it again. Chip it deep. Look at that. That's much better. Now it stays low. Now they're having to hit up. That's what you want for a volley. You want volleys here and overheads here. You don't have to volley there or get past. Okay? So you want to get good at chipping deep. You want to get good at chipping short and following that in. That's going to win you maybe the most points out of everything. And you want to get good at actually, have you ever thought about hitting a lob as an approach shot? If you've never thought about that, start thinking about that. Okay? These are the best ways. Those are the 3 best ways to hit approach shots in doubles. I know the most fancy way, maybe the most fun way is to just rip it, but I'm telling you, you're going to do a lot better with chipping it.